Hey guys, I hope you're having a great day, and today I'm going to be talking about the Female Trilogy by Envy Wright. I don't know if I've been living under a rock, but I have not seen that series anywhere on the internet. In any recommendations, I haven't seen it, and I love that series, so I don't know what is going on. So if you don't know anything about it, stay and I will tell you why you should read it. Firstly, I just want to point out, this is a very spicy series. So if you're not into spice, give up because you're not gonna like this series. I'm really sorry. And it's really sad because the story is so interesting. But anyways, if you don't like spice, I'm sorry, you're gonna have to check another video. I might do a cozy fantasy recommendations, so maybe that would be for you. I listened to the 3 books as audiobooks, and the narrators were Avi Page, Marcus Dominic, Victor Xixabas. I'm so sorry. And Javi Wilder. I really love to point out the narrators because they did such an amazing job narrating these characters. They really bring out the story to life, and I really loved it. There were some really heavy parts in this series, and I just thought that the narrators really brought like the emotions and the feelings and everything. It was just beautiful. So on a scale of 1 to 5 of spice, I would say it's a 4 out of 5 spice. So it is very intense. You have how do I say this? You have a reverse harem. Oh, I don't know how to say that word. I don't really say that word. A reverse harem, I think you would say. So you have 1 girl and 3 men. 1 woman and 3 men. Sorry, that was weird. And so you have some stuff that is going on with a foursome, I guess, but nothing further than that. So I don't remember, but I don't think there is anything related to like dangerous items, stuff like that. So if you're not into that, I don't think there is anything related to that. But there is a lot of like nudity and like showing off. That's the thing. I am in love with the whole world building. Okay, so let me talk about the story. We are in the future, in the post-apocalyptic future slash dystopian slash fantasy. It's a whole thing. We're in the future where females of every species has become almost extinct. So the humans decided to put all their females into facilities to be sold at 18 by any man or any type of creature that bid the highest. So fantasy wise, there are elves, there are monsters, there are goblins, there are like any type of creature that you would find in a fantasy book, but with the humans. So we follow our main character named Charlotte, who was hidden by her parents at birth so that she wouldn't be taken. So they made it seem like she was a man, well, a boy, when she was born. However, the government changes its tactics, I guess, because they know that people have been hiding their girls, and so they launch a massive scale raid, and Charlotte is caught, obviously. She gets bought by 3 powerful demons: Grey, a lust demon; Silas, a fate demon; and Azil, the wrath demon king. So just there's a lot of things to unpack. So her mother died, and so it was only her and her father, and Charlotte lived in the basement, hidden, like there wasn't supposed to be a basement in the house, so people weren't suspicious of anything. But the government still found her, and they brought her to the facility, and she was already 18, so she was put in auction to be sold immediately, and she was bought by 3 demons. They brought her back to their palace because one of them is the Wrath Demon King, so he is the king of their land, of the Wrath demons. And so they go back to their palace, and she realizes quickly that she has to stay in the palace because if she gets out, all the rat demons are like coming after her. Like, not to lust after her, just to kill her, basically. So for the first time in my life, I don't mind a character that is completely clueless and useless, because she has a good reason for it. She was hidden her whole life. She never learned anything about the world. She only learned through what her father told her and through the 5 books that she had. So it wasn't glorious. And so the fact that she is really useless, both mentally because she doesn't know anything about the world, but also physically because she doesn't train in her basement. So of course she's weak and she's small and she doesn't know how to fight. Like, it's all obvious shit that would normally really piss me off about fantasy main characters, but for her in this specific case it just makes sense. I really love that you get to see Charlotte evolve throughout the book, and with her relationships with the boys, the men, sorry, with the demons. Because in the beginning of the book you see a little bit of interaction with her father, so you know how she actually is in her personality. She's very outgoing, she asks a lot of questions, she's really like, she's afraid of asking questions and going out of her way to do things. But in the palace she's very scared, obviously, for her life or for anything worse that could happen. But when she realizes that any of the demons are not going to attack her or make things worse, she starts getting more and more comfortable, and she starts really like opening up as herself. And I really thought it was interesting because it showed trust in each other, because they trusted her not to run away, but she also trusted them not to just kill her. I am not going to go into details because I'm talking about the whole trilogy, so I'm not going to talk about spoilers or anything, but I will say that in book 2 she did something that did not fit her character at all, and it just felt weird, and it felt really pushed for the plot only, because if she hadn't done that thing, none of the rest of the things would have happened. And so I was kind of iffy about that. I really didn't like it, and I felt like it was way out of her character and what she would have done. She would have never done what she did, and so I thought it was kind of pushed for the plot, and you could, like, you didn't see it coming, so you wouldn't expect her to do something like that. So I just thought it was weird. If you guys have read the book and you know what I'm talking about, like, please validate my feelings, please, because I feel like it wasn't her. So let's talk about the man. I want to talk about Gray first, because Gray is like the sweetest, and you always have like the really mean one, the really nerdy one, and like the really kind one, and Gray is really the kind one. He is so cute, and he is a lost demon, so that means that he grew up in a very particular environment, I would say. And so since he was also the youngest, he always has like that's not a problem, but he really wants to please everyone, make sure that everyone is happy, not necessarily sexually, just like in general, he wants everybody to be happy and to be content at anything, like their food, their lodgings, anything. And so he really wants to take care of Charlotte, even if at the beginning she's really scared of him, well, of everybody. But he really wants to not make her trust him, but like he really wants her to trust him, because he wants to take care of her, to feed her, bathe her, whatever. He really wants to make her happy. And so that was just really the sweetest thing, because you have all of their POV, so you know how much he really just wants everybody to be happy and everybody to get along. And in the beginning, nobody gets along, so that's really something. And so I just thought that was really sweet and kind, and I really loved him. And he obviously fell in love with Charlotte first, and that was just so cute. Silas was a really interesting character, but sadly throughout the trilogy we don't really get to see much of his backstory, actually. So kind of disappointing, because you learn a little bit about it, but like you don't really get all the stuff that like Gray has with his family. Silas is a fate demon, so that means that he can have visions of the future and he can know certain things are going to happen, but he can never know stuff that is going to happen when he's involved. So when he looks at Charlotte's future, he can't see anything because she's mostly with him, so he cannot see his own future. But if he were to look at like some random demon's future, he could see it all. That's basically it that we know of his power. But at some point he does some stuff and you don't even know what it is, and it's not explained, and it's never explained. And at some point you just wonder if the author even knows what his power is, because you don't even get any explanation, and everybody just carries on with their lives and they don't ask questions. So I'm like, do y'all know and just not tell me what's going on? Also, the other thing that really bothered me was that his power was useless. Since he cannot see his own future, he could not see any of the future of like the gang because they were all with him. So it was like, if he hadn't had any powers, I think the whole story would not have changed that much. So that was just kind of disappointing, because it was like, power, it's a power that looks really cool, but in the end does nothing. Aziel. Oh my god. Like, this is the most grumpy demon that you could ever find, for no reason at all. He is grumpy, he is mad, he is stoic, for no reason. It's hilarious. He doesn't have any reason to be mad about anything, but he just acts mean and mad all the time. However, he was really intelligent, like intelligent at another level, where everything that he would do, he would think about the consequences of his actions on other people before doing it. And so I guess it's a good and bad thing, 'cause like, he's really anxious about it, so like, that's a little bit of a problem. But I really love that whenever he would be asked to do something like a major change, he would really think it through and think about all of the consequences and every person or third party that would be involved in this change, and how it would affect them, like positively or negatively. Negatively? Is that a word? I guess so. However, in comparison to his intelligence, he was the most stupid creature to ever exist to speak with a woman. He was unable to speak to Charlotte in any way, like ever. And like, I guess makes sense, because they don't like go out with women because they're demons, and he's a demon king, so like, he doesn't have time really for that. But like, that was at a point where he believes she's another species entirely and that he can't talk to her. And like, yes, she's human and you're a demon, but like, dude, get it together. So as you guys know, because I said it in the beginning of the video, this is a reverse harem. And so she ends up doing it with all of them, obviously. Gray being the first, obviously, because he's the sweetest and he was the nicest and he really wanted to take care of her, and she fell for him first, because who wouldn't? Then came Silas, and Silas, it was a really rocky relationship at the beginning. Silas didn't want anybody to touch him, so that was kind of like iffy, and you kind of, actually, it made me wonder why. I was like, are you gay? Maybe, we don't know. And so it was a really weird relationship in the beginning. I didn't really like the way he treated her, because just because he didn't want to sleep with her, he was kind of mean and cold towards her. And I was like, you can be a like nice person and she won't want to sleep with you like that. That's not how it works. So for Charlotte and Aziel, there is a whole thing. I don't think it's a spoiler. Okay, so I really want to finish my video, but my camera just died and my thoughts are rambling, so I just want to keep going. So bear with this setup. So I was saying that Charlotte and Aziel's relationship was the most slow burn of all, and I loved it so much. I fell in love with it. Like, at some point you really want them together, and it wasn't happening, and when it happened, it was glorious. I loved it so much, so that was really satisfying. So in conclusion, I have 3 pros and 3 cons to this whole trilogy. My 3 pros are the story, because the creativity of the storyline was so good. I have never read any book like that, and so it was really interesting, and I loved also every story in each book. It was really interesting, except book 2. Still have a grudge, but that's fine. I really love the world building, because you really get to learn more about the demons and the other races, because obviously Charlotte doesn't know anything because she is useless. And I also love the character development throughout the whole trilogy, everybody evolves and grows, and it's really, really nice to see, because you could expect some characters to just never change, but that was really, really interesting, and they really evolved realistically. Like, they don't just evolve in a straight line towards like betterness. I don't know, they really evolve like a zigzag, so they go up, they go down, and everybody learns from their mistakes, because they do make mistakes, and it's fine to do that because it's real, it's a real world, and people aren't perfect. My cons for this book is the book 2 moment, which I keep talking about and you don't know what it is, but just read the trilogy, it'll happen, and maybe you'll get over it better than me. The pacing was iffy. So in book 1 it was really good, book 2 it felt kind of iffy, book 3 was really good. So it was mostly book 2 that I had like a little hiccup with. Also, the writing style is a little bit repetitive in certain idioms. Is that a word? She repeats a lot of idioms just like multiple times, and at some point I'm like, just pick something else, like just say anything else than the actual idiom that everybody knows. It would be ideal. So overall, I thought this was a great romantasy trilogy with a lot of spice, but there's also a great world building. Overall, it's really great. I give the overall series a 4 out of 5 stars. So that was it, guys. I really hope you enjoyed, and I will see you next week. Goodbye.